Hi, I'm Tom. I'm one of the project managers here. I've been managing private autobiographies for the past 5 years with the company. That equates to about 200 projects thus far. Many things, really. One of my favourite things about it is I did, as part of my degree, a module in American history, covering things like the presidencies and the Vietnam War. So to actually see these periods of history through our author's eyes, to me, is fascinating. It's a really unique way to relive these stories and capture some social history in our private autobiographies. Also, the American people are brilliant. There's a whole culture over here which you may have heard of, which everyone in England has a stiff upper lip. It means our books can also be a bit stiff sometimes. Still interesting, but I find that the American authors tell a much more realistic portrayal of their life. It's a very authentic representation of them coming through in our books, which is exactly what we want. That sort of far-side chat with your grandmother, with your grandfather, that's precisely what the book should be. And also the American people themselves are great. I've been invited to several Thanksgiving dinners so far. I've got an open invite to go saltwater fishing in Florida, which I haven't quite taken up yet because I'm a little bit scared, but hey, maybe someday. And also, every single person loves to make fun of us because we have rubbish weather, so that's also part of the job. The great thing with I don't know where I'm going with that. Let's try again. The great thing about the PMs is the experience we have operating these projects all over the world. We've completed books and private autobiographies in many countries now, including North America. The key thing with the project management is you have that project manager assigned to your project. We're a phone call or an email away. We're in touch with you every step of your journey through your private autobiography. Our job essentially is to be there to guide you through the project, to make sure that we're making good progress, and ultimately that we're getting everything just right for you in your private autobiography. It means that we have our experience that helps you on your journey and allows us just to make sure that the book is going to be right for you and the family. We also now have over 2,000 completed private autobiographies in people's hands in North America, which means that we've got a lot of experience working with our North American authors. It also means that we can get the language right and make sure that it's the US and the Canadian authors that are coming through. We have a wealth of experience working in the North American territories. It means that we've now been able to provide a dedicated... It means that we now have a dedicated... Why is that word so hard? Is that we have our dedicated service on a much larger scale now. It also means that the project teams we work with, so the interviewers, the ghostwriters, the editors, are all North American. It means that the actual writing of the book is done in a way that's true to the author, so you don't sound like our queen. Some of the brilliant things about creating your private autobiography is the fact that we're getting all of your stories safe, preserved in your book. It's those stories that perhaps the family may never have heard about, or they never thought to ask, what was it like when this happened, or what happened next? What more could you tell me? It's also knowing that it's your friends, your family who are the audience for your book. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard someone say, well, my life isn't that interesting, or I haven't done very much, and then at the end of their 6-month project, I've had them email or call me and say, my children were delighted, they never knew that I'd done this, this and this, I'm so pleased that I've done it. It's knowing that your family will treasure this book for the generations to come, and well, one of the best things for me is that it's not so much your immediate children and grandchildren, but several generations down the line who will know what their great-great-great-grandparent was like and what they did with their story. One of the reasons I do this job is none of my grandparents ever wrote anything down apart from my granddad's diary he kept in 1985 when he retired, which is brilliant if you want to know what wine he was drinking or what he thought about York. But other than that, don't have any World War II stories. I don't have anything about his career in the bank. Just the stories that are passed down from my dad. It would have been brilliant if we got his own ranty style in his own book, but unfortunately that's now been lost with him. It's a wonderful book to put together, and the final quality of the books that we produce means that it's going to be the best book on your shelf. We want these to last. All of the materials we use are of the highest quality. It's an engaging, oftentimes enjoyable 6-month project. It's the chance to really cast your mind back and remember those stories of your life which you may not have thought about for a very long time. One thing I do notice that a lot of my authors tell me is they're recalling memories they didn't really realise they'd forgotten about. To preserve those in the book as well as all the classic favourite stories is something that feels really special to be a part of. The other fantastic thing that we produce is what we call the audio highlights. What these are is a selection of your favourite stories from your book that are read aloud by you at the very final meeting. It's that chance to capture your actual speaking voice narrating these stories, which you think, imagine your great-great-great-grandson or granddaughter having that recording, hearing their relative reading these stories aloud. It's a really unique and special part of our service, and it's not something that is done anywhere else. It's something that's unique to you and one wonderful thing that you can include in your private autobiography.